was planning on coming up here and telling you guys about all the crazy things the groom and I have done, but since there are kids present, I really don't know what to say. As many of you know, I'm Spencer Stevens. I'm the best man, and today I promise I won't take too much of your time. You guys can get back to your dinners and your drinks and whatever. I just want to tell you guys 3 stories about why I think that the bride is in great hands and why the bride's family is in great hands. So the first story I like to tell you is how the groom brought me closer relationship with Jesus. And the first thing that he did was he would just pester me every day at school. He's like, man, you gotta come to church, you gotta come to church, you gotta come to church. And every time I'd be like, it's a Wednesday night, it's a half weekend, like I got plans, and so I would just put him off, and finally I figured I should just give in. So I went to church with him, and it just turned out to be one of the best decisions that I've made in my life. Not only did it bring me a closer relationship with Jesus, but it also brought me a closer relationship with the groom. Him and I were best friends for a long time, but now that we had this bonding together, it really just allowed us to almost grow in a different set and be almost one person together. And another thing that was just extremely helpful to me, and I know I'm sounding a little selfish here, but this is my way of saying that the groom is a great person, is that he invited me to a church bonfire, and every other bonfire I've ever been to was not very church-like, so I didn't really know what to expect. And when I got there, there's just singing and music and preaching of the gospel, and I felt like I belonged. And so finally the preacher said, put your hands up if you want to accept Christ into your life. And of course I didn't put my hand up because I was like, I accepted Christ in my life when I was 8. I don't need to do it again. And then the preacher said, okay, one last time, I'm going to say it. If you want to accept Christ in your life, stand up. And it felt like it wasn't me. It was somebody else who just pushed me up. And I stood up and I accepted Christ in my life, and from that day forward, my life just changed immensely, and I just saw the world in a whole new light. And the second story is how he helped me see the world in a different mindset and kind of a different view. So my whole life I played baseball, and everything's been about baseball, and it's just baseball all the time. In my junior year, I really struggled playing baseball. Like I had a horrible year, and I just couldn't hit the ball, couldn't do anything right. So after one game, I'm just sitting in the locker room, and I'm angry. I didn't know what to do. And he came up to me and he just told me, hey man, there's bigger things in life than baseball. There's a loving family that you have. There's a loving support system that you have. There's friends, there's a girlfriend. He's like, everything that you need to do is just, you have everything that you need. You have everything. You don't need baseball. And so from that day forward, I looked at baseball as a game like it is, instead of a life set, a life mind. And the last story is just kind of a funny story. So me and him were going fishing, and we were on kayaks, and of course he wanted to catch the biggest bass. So he said, if we go through these woods, you'll catch huge bass, just countless number of huge bass. And we walk through the woods, and we're barefooted, and I'm stepping on like 30 thorns, and I'm just cussing them out like, what are we doing here? And we get to the pond and we catch 2 bass, and I was like, this is not worth my time. But it just shows you that he's extremely courageous. He's always willing to take the leap, and he's just a great guy. And so that's my speech. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Like I said, I think the bride is in great hands with the groom here, and I think the family is going to just truly see how great of a person he is if they haven't already, and they're in for a treat. And if he treats her bad, I don't know what to do, man. He's made the worst decision of his life. Thank you.